So hello everyone and welcome to yet another Nordic Talks, PTC Nordic Talks webinar, where we are honored today by having Kerim Ispir, Director AR Strategy at PTC, for a session on augmented reality at the skill gap catalyst for catalysts for the digital transformation. But first, a very quick intro about myself. My name is Carl Johnson and I'm a Customer Success Manager for PTC in the Nordics. And we are running this webinar same time every week, where we invite customers and partners for some inspiration on digital transformation to see what's possible, how to make things happen. And all the past webinars have been recorded and you can find them on the registration site. The agenda for today is first a quick overlook of PTC, and then Kerim will start introducing himself, touch base on a few challenges, how to address those, and then explain some of the business outcome. At the end, we are also having a Q&A session, so please keep your questions to the end. Maybe we can move to the next slide, and yeah, thank you. So PTC is an international software company who is headquartered based in Boston. We're developing software mainly for manufacturing companies since 1985. We're offering tools for the digital transformation, such as CAD for design, PLM for managing data, IoT for connecting products and manufacturing operations, and augmented reality for visualization and interaction with the digital thread. So to you, Kerim.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Very nice to meet you. And thank you for joining us in today's session about augmented reality. But today in the context of the skills gaps catalyst for digital transformation. What that means, before we dive into the topic, let me quickly introduce myself because it's the first time I'm joining this session. My name is Kerim. I recently joined PTC as Director AR Strategy. To my background, I studied economics, so I'm not a technician per education, so to speak, but I have been working in the augmented and mixed reality space now for over 12 years. Previous positions before joining before joining PTC, I used to work as sales director at another startup in the AR space, the pioneers almost in that technology, Metaio from Germany. The company was acquired by Apple in 2015, and their core technology reflects Apple's AR kit solution. In 2012, we founded, I was a co-founder and then in my role COO at Reflect, also a startup focusing on enterprise augmented reality, providing platforms and solution at scale. And this company was, or the IP of this company was acquired by PTC in 2012. So basically, we used to be competitors for a very long time, and now under the same roof and the brand PTC, mainly Vuforia, we're supporting enterprises now to really leverage this technology. The fields of activities I was mainly active in was consulting, the definition of use cases, ROI calculations, and acceptance criteria. So really not only this is augmented reality, that's the theory, that's really great, but also really nailing down into metrics and say, how can we measure the results of this technology? What can we expect as a return? Also feasibility studies and of course use case evaluation afterwards. So my main interest is not only as I love this technology and I'm very passionate about that, also to really drive results and measure results, and with that of course scale and grow within the enterprises. So today's topic is the skills gap, right? As you can see, there is a small quote from Deloitte. The skills gap is the deficit of 2.1 million unfilled manufacturing jobs expected by 2028. So basically, you can read a lot of them, and in the next slides, we will see also a couple of more from really renowned institutes and also media addressing the results, what that means for the industry. So basically, the scope of the problem is caused by the lack of skilled workers. Due to different reasons, there are less qualified people. Number one, baby boomers. There will be a retirement gap in the future. We are all aware of that. We know that, and we already are feeling that. Secondly, lack of skilled workers. So number one, the people are not used to staying companies. Yes, there are still some for decades, right? For 20, 30, 40 years from their apprenticeship until their retirement. So they gain huge amount of knowledge. They're subject matter experts in what they are doing. And this is changing nowadays and already changed a couple of years ago. So as a result, there is a higher fluctuation, right? Companies are focused on forced to hire seasonal people, part-time people, especially in industries where there is an aggressive delivery schedule, right? And or a high variety and complex products. So you all heard of the war of talents. There is also an increasingly competitive landscape for recruiting and also retaining talented employees. And last but not least, also the personal attitude of the people. There is a lack of desire to work in trade roles. So in the past, it was very interesting to really travel abroad, to be on site at customers, in facilities, in locations for a couple of weeks, to really be on the road all the time. And in the meanwhile, that changed also significantly. The people focus more on their work-life balance. They want to stay more at home rather than being on the road. It really depends on the roles, of course, don't get me wrong. But all of this combines, of course, in a result that companies are facing a skill gap right now, and this situation will become even more dramatic in the future. So why is this skill gap important for you as an enterprise, small, mid-sized, large enterprise? It doesn't matter. And as an economy itself, you see here, for example, for Deloitte, the skills gap in the US alone could cost the economy around $1 trillion US. I don't want to go through all of them. Just in a nutshell, to make it short, even if we might have the understanding, so what, who cares? So basically, as a result, what I've explained in the previous slide, training will become obligatory more and more frequently. Yeah, maintaining a full-skilled workforce will be harder, right? And the fun fact and the paradox behind that is that digitalization is a cause for a faster turnover. So due to the digitalization itself, we have shorter product life cycles. We can create products faster. We can produce them faster, deliver them faster, everything. But at the same time, the same digitalization in production causes also the problem for the skilled workforce, because they are now forced to train them, to educate them themselves way more faster, more frequently, because the products are getting more complex. And of course, it's very hard to keep up with traditional paper training and traditional training processes and approaches. Another topic is, of course, the unplanned downtime. What does that mean? As a result of the lacking skilled workers, manufacturers must take the smallest risk to their bottom line, which means if you have multiple facilities and you have less skilled workers, you need to make sure that even one skilled worker is available or on call duty in case of an emergency. Right? So you know that you don't have an expert on every facility on site. So you need to keep these resources as efficient as possible. So you try to take that risk and calculate that risk. Now let's go into, let's say, some beef. How can you mitigate this risk and counteract this trend? Right? And of course, the topic is digitalization today. And of course, we will have a detailed look into technologies. So which technologies can really help to mitigate that risk or to counteract? So the overall reduction in available skilled workers can be addressed through automation, of course, right? We all know that, like IoT, robots, and AI. It will not remove workers, but rather drive them to have more productive and more comfortable and safer roles in the future. The last two, augmented mixed reality and extended reality, as well as the blockchain, is more knowledge transfer. So the retirement gap, loss of knowledge primarily. This fact can be addressed through improvements of knowledge transfer through interactive augmented reality-based trainings and work instructions, and we will deep dive into that in a second. So different technologies can counteract to this trend. The first three more supporting the workers in what they are doing and also automizing some processes, and the last two more about capturing knowledge, providing knowledge, and of course save the knowledge which is available even if we're facing the retirement gap in the future. So last slide before we then really deep dive in the individual use cases. How does an ideal world look like, right? You see that I don't want to go into every single image and also explanation, because in the interest of time, that alone would just take us a couple of minutes or even hours. So basically, with technology like augmented reality, collaboration and access to knowledge is easier, resulting in an efficiency gain. So this means that, for example, offsite specialists and less risk of downtimes due to travel requirements or time constraints. This is the example I just had 2 slides earlier. Like you have one specialist for 3 plants and maybe 2 of them have issues at the same time. Having remote access to specialists prevent avoidable downtimes. That's one quintessence. And also very important, we're talking about technology, but always it comes down to the human itself. So to the worker, to the frontline worker, to the people. So the people want to have a pleasant work time, right? And they want to make a meaningful impact in what they do. So they're interested in what they do overall. So no one wants to work in a boring workplace. At the end of the day, a plant worker will absolutely appreciate a better support, access to technology, which makes their jobs just fairer, more convenient, and just simply improving their working conditions. So talking about technology, it's always important to have the end user, the human, the people in mind who is using that technology at the end of the day. So the main reason or let's say the main measure to counteract that is knowledge transfer. Keep the knowledge which is available through the subject matter experts in the company and make that knowledge available to all others, to the new people which need to be onboarded, to the trainings, and so on and so forth. So what are the ways to capture, create, and provide relevant knowledge in an enterprise? So I took 3 videos for 3 different approaches, and afterwards I will talk about some results which have been received, or use cases and their results for some of our customers. Let's start with the first video. This has no sound, so I will just explain it to you. What you can see here is a tablet. Here is an object, right? And this object is detected in real time, and the object itself is detected. So there are no markers placed, there are no images or other things based on, don't want to deep dive too much into technology, object tracking, the object itself can be recognized. And now you can see, once such content like CAD files are available, you can create such an interactive step-by-step work instruction to support someone on site to perform a task, even if they never did that before, with a first time right approach. So meaning, as they have a visual guidance showing them exactly what they have to do in which order, in real scale and orientation, making errors is almost impossible, right? It's not only that someone is looking over your shoulder, you see here what you have to do in which order to perform the task. This is, of course, possible if you have products you produce in large scale throughout different facilities, right? If you have industrialization, mass market. You have the CAD files, you create the content once instead of printing that onto paper or creating a PDF, such a step-by-step instruction. So once the content is created, because it's digital, you can deploy that globally, and everyone starting that scenario has the same access. We often hear, okay, that's great, but I don't have CAD files, right? I'm not an OEM, so I'm using equipment from others. So I can't create that kind of content. That means I can't capture the knowledge and I can't provide that to my workforce. It's a fair argument, right? But for that, of course,
Euphoria
PTC has a
expert
different
capture
solution as well.
Is okay. I'm not sure if Kerim is still here. Yes, he will come back in a few seconds. Now it's working. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So I apologize again. So I will talk a bit faster that we keep the half an hour. So I tend to talk fast anyhow. So basically, the second video I wanted to show you is exactly to for this situation where you don't have the CAD files, right? Where you say, look, I'm just working with equipment from third parties. Yes, I have subject matter expert internally. They're performing the tasks, right? And if something is broken or if I have a downtime, they know exactly how to fix the problem. So basically, to avoid that situation that a single person has all the knowledge in their mind, and once this person is ill or on vacation or even retiring, then this knowledge is gone, right? So the idea of one of the solutions from PTC called Expert Capture is exactly to capture that subject matter expertise from that individual. So I will start the video. There is a voiceover, I think, explaining very nicely how that works. And then I would just let the video run for 2 minutes and we will continue then.
PTC Viewphoria Chalk is an out-of-the-box collaboration app.
Okay, you see it, you hear it?
Euphoria Expert Capture is a new workforce productivity solution from PTC, which captures the tacit knowledge of frontline experts in situ, where and when they do their work, and then makes it available to any worker to effectively and efficiently perform that same procedure. Using the Viewphoria Capture app on a head-worn device, the subject matter expert can record their work procedures step by step in real time. No tedious written documentation work is required. By using intuitive voice or gesture commands,
Next step. Ensure voltage selector is on 120 volts.
the user can control the recording of the video, take photos, and mark important moments to edit later, all hands-free while they work. The captured knowledge can then be revised and configured in Viewphoria's web procedure editor before publishing. Once published, captured instructions are consumed via Viewphoria View on a HoloLens, RealWear, or mobile device. This gives a clear and immersive first-person perspective of what to do and how to do it best. PTC's Viewphoria Expert Capture solution saves your company time and money associated with the creation of traditional training and documentation methods, which ultimately results in significant downstream benefits in areas like quality, safety, and overall workforce productivity.
I think that video showed really, even without having 3D data, how you can really capture expertise and make it available for others and within the organization. I give you an example. At the beginning of the pandemic 2020, of course, all the medical device manufacturers were forced to create equipment and wanted to create equipment which helped to fight against the pandemic. This might be masks, this might be some kind of ventilators, and so on and so forth. But the facilities were deployed across the globe. Now, At the same time, they were not allowed to travel. So how can you train and empower people in different locations to change the production to another product to help exactly in this pandemic situation, really? And that was a huge issue. And some customers of ours really used that kind of technologies. First of all, capturing expertise whilst they're doing the performance, so no additional efforts are needed. So you have someone doing that for the first time, an expert and a subject matter expert, recording what this person is doing, and then use this recording, this image snippets, video snippets, text information, voiceovers, then create an application out of it and really send it to the workforce and enable globally people in the production line to produce something completely different they never did before, and that in a very shortest time period. So that was really a very impressive example, not only in theory how you can do that. We did that with medical device manufacturers at the beginning of the pandemic, even to really set up new facilities, to commission them. Again, the same problem. Before the pandemic, they shipped already production lines to China or to everywhere else where they wanted to build up this production line. Whilst this equipment was on its way, the pandemic kicked in. So now they were not allowed to send over the experts to build up the facility, to build up the production line. So huge delays, huge costs on the customer side. But with that kind of technology, they were really able to support them remotely. We will come to that in a second. That's the third solution. To create the step-by-step instructions, to create the commissioning plan digital, and then the people on site just put on smart glasses, took a tablet or any kind of mobile device, and then they were really enabled to do that task even without the expert flying over to them. So not only in theory that works, we have multiple real case studies and real use cases, how they really leverage that technology to increase their efficiency. Last but not least, one more video. So we saw the capturing of content with expert capture, so video, images whilst you were doing a task. Then we saw a way to create 3D work instructions if you have the CAD files or underlying data itself. And the third solution is a so-called Chalk. That's a remote support solution, meaning you empower someone remotely to perform a task, even they never did that before, by getting real-time assistance by an expert. You see that in a second. I start that video as well.
PTC Vuforia Chalk is an out-of-the-box collaboration app that provides real-time remote assistance. It combines live video, audio, and digital annotations over a shared view to enable improved communication between remote experts and frontline workers. In this video, we'll walk through a short demonstration showing how a remote expert connects with a field technician to help resolve an issue powering a motor. To start, the OEM remote expert, who is using Chalk's web-based desktop mode, pictured on the left-hand side of the screen, will generate a connect code using the Chalk host's functionality to invite the customer's field technician to the Chalk call, even though they do not have a Chalk user account. Once connected, the field technician will share their device's view. Using Vuforia's computer vision technology, the field technician will use their phone to map the area, creating a 3D environment that will allow annotations to stick to the objects shown in the physical world. As the remote expert and field technician communicate, they will use different colored Chalk annotations to highlight specific buttons to press. The direction knob should be turned and point to things that the field technician should pay attention to. As the field technician pans their screen over to the monitor, wayfinding arrows appear to guide the on-site technician back to the specific location of the Chalk annotations. Vuforia Chalk's advanced computer vision technology ensures every annotation can be precisely placed and remains right where you left it. This live, over-the-shoulder collaboration will allow the remote expert to walk the field technician through the troubleshooting steps necessary to generate power to the computer monitor and power on the motor's solenoids. At the end of each session, the users will have access to a summary session recap, which displays points of interest images that were automatically captured when a new chalk annotation was generated. These images can be attached to work orders as evidence of service work, or can be used to scale service training for future field technicians. With Chalk's real-time collaboration and incredibly accurate annotations, experts and technicians spend less time resolving issues, increasing operational productivity and efficiency, and improving customer satisfaction. Vuforia Chalk, delivering expert support at scale with AR remote assistance.
So in that case, I think it's pretty straightforward to understand the benefits of that technology. Even if you don't have predefined or pre-recorded, pre-created content available, with that kind of remote solutions, visual audio remote solutions, you can really support someone on site, even if there's no expert available locally. So as a last slide, sorry, I'm running out of time. Apologize really a million for this technical issue beforehand. So augmented reality creates the future worker. So it has the long-term potential of, you can read that, facilitate a knowledge transfer of as experts retire and are not replaced. Secondly, help available workers accomplish their task more easily. Drive renewed interest in manufacturing careers. And last but not least, counteract the lack of skilled workers with easy access to experts via remote support. That's pretty much it from my end. Again, thank you very much for attending, and apologize the technical issue. I don't know, Carl, if we should, if we have questions, answer them, or how to approach continue best.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Kerim. So maybe time is up. I was wondering, because you said you didn't have much time, Kerim, or you have some meetings coming up, or do you have 2 minutes for one question?
Presentation at past. I have a back-to-back meeting. So
yeah. So what I would suggest, if people have questions, just type it in the chat, and then Kerim, you could answer them later on, if that's okay for you.
Absolutely, I will answer every single one of them.
Great. So thank you, everybody. Unfortunately, the time is running out. Thanks for everyone for joining. A special thanks, of course, to you, Kerim. That was a great presentation.
Yeah,
and know that the session has been recorded, and if you want to watch it again, it's going to be on the landing page. And we'll see you next week for the next webinar. And thank you, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. All the best to you all. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Thank you, Kerim.